Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, humanitarians, scholars, educators, philosophers, philanthropists. This is John Muller reporting Sunday morning, July 1, live from 8th and Q in the historic Shaw neighborhood, visited by Dr. King, Walter Fauntroy, Langston Hughes. 7th Street is right over there, historic 7th Street. Zora Neale Hurston, Howard University is right up the street. Historic achievement in this neighborhood. The reason why we're here is the UJAMAA School. Been on this corner, holding this corner since 1968. Okay, it's been here a long time. I'm not really well researched on the history of African-centered schools in the United States. There were African-centered schools in this country before the Civil War, and this has been here a long time. There are a couple other Afrocentric curriculum-based schools in Washington, kind of like the charter school movement. This school was founded obviously well before the charter school movement took hold in Washington. As you can see, they just celebrated, as I said, their 50th anniversary. We'll just quickly read. We must remember to practice our African culture with conscious responsibility, determination, commitment, and loyalty. Let's renew our commitment to build for our people, African people. UJAMAA, preschool through high school. So this is basically from 2-3. DC has 3K for pre-K, but this is like 3-4 years old to 18. So the whole time, you know, you're learning about, what is it, 56, 57, 58 independent nations and countries in Africa. Obviously, Senegal, Congo, Zimbabwe, Madagascar, Libya, you know, old school names, Rhodesia, those sorts of names. So the reason why we're reporting live here is because there's just been a lot of nonsense going on with this complete fraud, this complete low down dirty flea. Yes, I repeat, the low down dirty flea, Umar Shoemake Johnson, who's a complete fraud and disgrace to everything, and especially African people. Dr. Umar Johnson, who is not a doctor or whatever he is a disgrace, okay? This has been here for 50 years. Have you ever heard him acknowledge this right here at this corner? No, because he doesn't want people to know that what he has done is he has perverted and disgraced and violated sacred laws in this country, okay? Laws that are not written on books, okay? Codes, ethics that exist that this man knows nothing about, because my understanding is he was raised up in a boarding school. This man went to a boarding school around, I guess, you know, European kids like St. Albans, Sidwell Friends. There's nothing wrong with that. I know African Americans who go to these schools. President Obama sent his children to those sorts of schools, boarding schools. But Umar tries to talk as though he knows what's going on in the community. He does not. He has no clue. He is a fake preacher. He is not an educator, okay? He's about nothing. He's about zero. As I mentioned in the other video, he's a disgrace, okay? He's like an ash on a cigarette. He's the week's trash, okay? He's actually like a landfill. He's about nothing, okay? So we're gonna show this. It's a fully operational school. Guessing they do summer programs. I'm not really sure. I came up around 7th Street, so I've known this block since I was about a little kid, basically 12, 13, 14 years old. And so they were always kind of busy here. You know, people kind of, see, the thing about this is what Umar has done is he's taken something that's serious, that people have dedicated their lives to, okay, sacrificed for, you know. People who started this school and taught at this school, which I do know a little bit about because of the DC history, which I won't break it down. But I mean, this is serious. 1968, 7th Street was destroyed. 14th Street was destroyed, okay? There's a lot of riots in DC. There's a lot of tension, a lot of turbulence going on. So as a reaction to that, you know, or in order to try to rebuild, folks started with the education, okay? You got to rebuild the mind before you rebuild the physical, whether that's even the intellectual capacity of a city, not just the physical. So Washington, D.C. is really kind of blown up, especially this area. Past 10, 15 years since I was coming up, this school has always been here, okay? DC gentrification, all this other stuff, but this school has been here and is going to be here, okay? Now, you've never heard Umar Johnson talk about this school nor other schools because he doesn't want folks to know that this is where you should be donating your money to. If you want to donate money to a school, to an Afrocentric school, UJAMAA School, okay? The UJAMAA School, 8th and Q Street, Northwest Washington, D.C. since 1968. You heard me? Okay, 1968. That is, what, 50 years, right, ladies and gentlemen? Yes, we can do the math. 50 years. This is a nice building, okay, historic neighborhood. Daniel P. Murray, who I'm sure someone who is a scholar like Umar Johnson would know, but of course he's not a scholar, so he don't know. Daniel P. Murray is an African-American, worked for the Library of Congress. His house is right around the street. Right around the corner, excuse me. Okay, like I said, Langston Hughes, Ornell Hurst, and Jean Toomer. Okay, this is a historic 7th Street. Or actually 7th Street's down that way. But this is a historic neighborhood, historic Shaw. This school has held this corner, has held this block for 50 years, for a half century. This is what it's about. It's about liberation. It's about education. It's not about frauds. It's not about distractions, okay? It's about these young folks. It's about teaching them history, which Umar has no capacity to do because he's not an educator. He's a fake preacher, okay? He's a used car salesman, a bootleg preacher. He's a nobody, a nothing. And I will be going over to the Cedar Hill house to address that and his fake claims of Bailey family connection. So like I said, I'm really tired. I really don't want to do this. I got so much other stuff I'm doing, ladies and gentlemen, but at the same time, you know, duty bound, we got to address this Umar nonsense because see, I'm out in the streets. See, I came up in the streets. I came up in the community. I came up in the library, okay? Martin Luther King Library is where I came up as a kid. On the bus, on the train, this and that. I know this community. I know my community, and they know me in return. So, you know, I've been meaning to kind of just set up at this school. I was going to talk to these folks about it because I've talked to some folks, you know, Mr. Muhammad, actually there's lots of Mr. Muhammads, but Nasir, Amir, about this dude Umar. Some of these people don't really know about him, or they've heard about his jankiness and his thievery, and they understand that he's really undermining something that's legitimate and authentic. And like I said, if you're gonna donate, for all you know folks that genuinely, sincerely care about the uplift of your family, of the community, of our little brothers and little sisters, you know, and you want them to go to a school which is going to teach them about your Henry Highland Garnett, Leo Africanus, okay, Songhai, the Kush, etc., as well as places, you know, history of African Americans in this country. This is the school. This is the school. These are these sorts of schools. They exist, okay? And charter schools can be started in church basements. Okay, this man, you can start a school with a penny. Okay, as long as you get a little, you know, some grants and foundation money, whatever. You don't need to be raising all this money on GoFundMe and PayPal, of course, which was shut down because of the thievery. So like I said, you know, these schools exist. They have existed. They have contributed to the community for a long time, okay? UJAMAA is well respected in Washington, extremely well respected, especially in this neighborhood. So you know, the Umar guy, you guys just got it twisted and tangled, stuck on stupid, on them dum-dums. You know, see, you guys are Twitter keyboard, busted caps locks, all this sort of stuff. You know, you guys are fake. You guys are nothing. Nobody's. All you like YouTube, you know, social media, whatever. You know, I had learned about this and had to go on social media to address this because I'm out in the community. This is, you know, the life that I was enlisted in, that I was initiated as a youngster. I was initiated as a youngster into this lifestyle, okay? And when I say lifestyle, I mean giving back to the community, being a member of the community. I have received more than I could ever give back, and I will address one issue. Of my little nephew does not go to this school. He goes to a school uptown, and I understand that Ann McMillan, who is Umar Johnson's co-defendant, co-conspirator. So when when the authorities run in on Umar, they're gonna run in on Ann McMillan because she must know where that money is. She must know the bank accounts. So she talked about my nephew. She talked about my nephew. Don't ever talk about him. You don't know him. He's not my child. He's just my nephew. And I don't need to speak about his family, but you don't want to mess with his family. I'll just say it like that, because you really don't want to mess with me. So you don't want to mess with me. You don't want to mess with his family. Don't ever talk about my family, my nephew. Don't ever, 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 ever. Umar and Ann, you guys are on the run. Your time is running out. Umar, you are on the run, brother. You are on the run. We're going to smoke you out of your low down, dirty flea bag motels. You know, wherever you're hiding out, your rat holes, we're going to smoke you out, bruh. We're going to smoke you out. Like I said, 8th Street, 8th and Q, Shaw. Okay, 7th Street, my block. Came up right there, 7th Street, at the 70 bus or 79. You know, see, Umar, I'm out in these streets, bruh. Out in the community. And you are nowhere but in low down, dirty flea bag hotels. And meanwhile, there's serious work of uplift going on. Okay, uplifting humanity, liberating young scholars, because unfortunately we have disgraces like you that are out here. And you know, it just is what it is. You know, there's always been folks that that try to get out and they get dragged back in, because you know, Frederick Douglass tried to escape slavery in Eastern Maryland, and guess what happened? Someone snitched on him. So Umar, you got that same soul, bruh. You got that spirit of the slave who snitched on Frederick Bailey. See, that's what you are, Umar. You're a disgrace to everything. You are nothing. You're low down, dirty flea. And see, it's not about that. It's about positivity. It's about uplifting. It's about scholarship. It's about education, something that you know nothing about.